Hi, I'm Judith Patterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable card using the Penguin Place, the Penguin Place stamp set, the Penguin Playmates 12x12 designer series paper, and the Bedazzling specialty paper. Both of those papers are from Celebration. So if you like them, don't miss your chance to get them. You can't purchase them, but you can earn them with a qualifying order through September. So don't miss out on that. All right, give me just a second. I'm going to flip the camera around so that we can start stamping. Here we go. Make sure the right microphone is working. Okay. So what we're going to be using, we're starting with a Fresh Freesia cardstock base. This is just a regular 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper cut in half and then scored at 4 1/4 inches. So it's 8.5 by 5.5 inches and scored at 4 1/4 inches. I'm just going to use my bone folder to give us a nice crease here. Okay, this is some of that Penguin Playmates designer series paper that I was telling you about in the intro there. Here's what the other side looks like. Let's look at it right side up. There we go. So cute. So, and this bear, I fussy cut this guy from that same designer series paper. Isn't he so cute? So when I fussy cut him, you can see I left just a little bit of a shadow around him. But not a lot. And he does have little tufts of hair. I just snipped that right off. I didn't even try to do the fussy cutting around his hair. Okay, so I have just a tiny little scrap of Fresh Freesia cardstock, a 3-inch square piece of Bedazzling paper, a 3/4 inch by 3 1/4 inch piece of Bedazzling paper, and then I have these two pieces of Misty Moonlight. So this one is 3 inches by 3 inches, and this one is 1/2 inch by 3 inches. Okay, so the stamping that we're going to do today, there's not a lot. We're going to start with this I Like You a Lotl stamp and Misty Moonlight ink. And we're just going to stamp this on our little piece of Fresh Freesia cardstock. And it's okay that it's not perfectly straight, because the next step is to take these paper snips and just give it a little snip. And my scrap was cutting it pretty close, wasn't it? So I'm not even going to cut any off the ends. I am going to trim just a smidgen off the top. It's not perfectly straight, but it'll do. Okay, so my next thing is I'm going to grab my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Of course, if all you have is the big one, that is totally fine. I just love to keep this one handy on my desk. And I can use it when I'm not doing any big cutting. So I'm grabbing my layering circles dies, and I'm going to use the scalloped circle on this Misty Moonlight cardstock. Okay, and then this smooth circle fits right inside this scalloped circle, and I'm going to use it to cut this Bedazzling paper. This is thicker paper, so I am just going to go ahead and bring that back to me real quick. There we go, and that is all we needed this for today. Okay, So now the next step is to grab that little piece of Misty Moonlight. Remember, this is 1/2 inch by 3 inches. And I'm going to get my Stamparatus. This thing makes my life so much easier. Well, my stamping life so much easier. So I've already figured out I've been using this for lots of things. And I've been putting my cardstock right here where this arrow is. Then I will hold it down with this magnet. And then my sentiment will go right across the center of that. So I'm going to use Versamark to ink this up. And before I get any further, I've been forgetting this step a lot lately. So I'm taking the static out of my cardstock. Be careful not to crease it. Okay, so now I can ink this up. And I haven't tried it, but I have heard a lot of other stampers say that if you don't have an embossing buddy, Stampin' Up stopped selling them a long time ago. So if you don't have one, you can use a dryer sheet. And I believe you can use even a used dryer sheet to take the static out of your cardstock before you do your stamping with Versamark. Okay. So now I'm gonna put the white embossing powder over our stamped image. I'm just scooping it and making sure it goes all over everything. Okay, so this is fabulous because since we use that little embossing buddy, I don't have just a ton of powder stuck everywhere. And look, I learned this earlier. I taught it to myself. So the sticky end of your Take Your Pick tool. Oh, I just realized I'm not on the camera. So the sticky end of the Take Your Pick tool, you can use it to pick up some of these little extra bits of powder that are stuck. This tool, y'all, I'm always finding ways to use this tool. I use it every day. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my heat tool and I'm gonna set this powder. Okay, be careful when you're heat embossing on tiny pieces like this that you don't burn yourself. That thing gets hot. So there's what it looks like once it's set. And now we're gonna grab the Banners Pick a Punch. If y'all have watched my other videos, you know I really like this thing. I use it all the time. It does 2 different ends, and each one is 3 different sizes. So we're going to use this banner end, and I'm going to put my cardstock in upside down. So you'll notice when I stamped towards the right of this strip. So I left a nice big empty spot on the left. That's because I'm punching this banner out. Oop, almost did the wrong one. Okay, so I'm putting it upside down, make sure it's centered, and to make sure I'm not cutting any of my stamped images. Okay, so there is that one, and then I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to cut this piece of bedazzling paper. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces and we can start putting together our card. Alright, we're going to start by gluing this designer series paper onto our card front. There we go. Then I'm going to glue the bedazzling circle to the Misty Moonlight scalloped circle. Then I'm going to glue this circle to the front of the card. And while I have my glue out, I'm going to go ahead and glue this banner to the front of the card also. This bedazzling banner. I just like to say bedazzling. I think everyone should be dazzling. Okay. Then I'm going to use mini Stampin' Dimensionals to attach this bear. So I'm going to do one in the middle of his head, one on his arm, other arm, down around his ankles, and then two on his body. I always recommend having a tiny little container on your desk for all these little dimensional backs. I find them everywhere. And I have a trash jar on my desk, and I still find them everywhere. Alright, so then I'm going to use those same mini dimensionals. I'm going to put 3 on the back of my I Like You a Lottle. So if you watched my video Friday, you know that all these scrapes and places on my hands are from this kitten that showed up. So we've had her back from the vet for a week now. And I'm going to tell you, she's starting to get kind of sweet. We've had her in the house, separated from all the other animals for the most part. I did let one of our cats in with her earlier, and that went well. He's a sweetheart cat, though, so. And he doesn't really know he's a cat. I think he thinks he's a dog most of the time. Okay, so this banner is going to go in the center of the bedazzling one. And that's it. That's all it takes to make this adorable card. So to do the inside of the card, so I think that this will be a really great birthday card for a child. But for now, I'm not going to do, I keep moving it out of the screen, sorry about that. I'm not going to add a birthday sentiment on the inside. That can always be added later. For now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a piece of basic white cardstock. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And of course, this isn't necessary. This card base is light enough. You could totally just write on that. I just always think that adding a layer to the inside helps to give it more of a finished look. And then I cut this little fox out from another piece of that Penguin Playmates Designer Series paper. He's too cute. Couldn't resist. So I'm just going to add a bit of glue to the back of him. Going to use my take your pick tool to pick it up so I don't get glue everywhere, maybe. And then put him in the corner. And I do purposefully have him hanging off the basic wad a little bit. Ooh, just don't want to focus. There he is. So cute. And that's it for our card today. I hope you enjoyed this card. See if I can get it turned back to me a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed this card, and I hope that you can recreate it either with things that you already own, or if you would like, of course you can always purchase these products from me if you're in the US. Unfortunately, I can't sell to anybody outside the US. I hate that, but I can help you if you have any questions or comments. If you're curious about Stampin' Up! At all, I would love to answer those questions. So I will leave a link in the description to a way to contact me and to leave any of those comments or questions. And a link to my blog that will have all the measurements and instructions on how to make this card. And also I'll leave the link to all the products that I used so that you can just look them up in the online store if you're curious about any of them, especially this Penguin Playmates 12 by 12 designer series paper, because I didn't go through and show you all the different papers and the fronts and the backs and all the things to it. So if you want to see what all that includes, then just follow that link over and you can see that. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have time to create today. Happy stamping.